I put my hair in ponytails because I decided that doing a video with my hair all over the fucking place was probably in poor taste, but who cares? What's appearance? So the next book is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and it's the first in a series of the same name, and I think most of these are authored by Douglas Adams, but then he either stopped or died, I don't know. And the last one was written by Owen Colfer and Thomas Tildholm. One of those is the author to Artemis Fowl. You can guess which one. The first book came out in 1979, and I have, as far as my books, because I have the Ultimate Guide to the Galaxy, which is like a bunch of them together. I have up to Mostly Harmless, and with also the bonus story, Young Zaphod Plays It Safe. So I've read this before, but the first time I read it, I could not tell you what the hell happened. I still can't tell you what happened from memory, and I have to do it with my notes. Everything that happened beyond life, the universe, and everything, no clue. But we have 2 more books till there. So the Guide is a remarkable book published in Ursa Major. No Earthman ever heard of the place, let alone the guide. The words "Don't Panic" are on the side of it in all caps. So the main character's name is Arthur Dent, and his house is going to be destroyed in order to make way for a highway. Arthur does not want his house to be destroyed, so he goes and lays out in front of the bulldozers so that his house does not get destroyed. His friend, Ford Perfect, comes and is like, "Hey dude, we should go to the bar." And Arthur's like, "But my house." So Ford does some weird like Doctor Who speak where he talks too fast and convinces the crew to lay down in front of the house in front of the bulldozers. It all doesn't really matter. The Earth is about to be destroyed in 12 minutes. So Ford goes to Arthur and like they go to the bar. Ford buys 3 pints each for them, or not the bar, I suppose. It's a pub, and yeah, it's also Thursday. Towels are also very useful. The people do knock down Arthur's house, but the Vogons come and destroy the Earth. So who cares? The reason the Earth was destroyed was to make way for a biperspatial express route, which is essentially a highway for space. And yeah, then we switch over to a dude named Zaphod Bebbelbrox, and he's like the president of something. I don't think it's the universe. It might be the universe, but he's at a place where they're going to unveil a ship called the Heart of Gold. It's got an improbability drive. I don't really know what that means, but it's got it, and he has to steal the ship. He doesn't know why he has to steal the ship. He just knows that he's supposed to steal it. So he does. And the president of the universe, which is what I'm going to call him, it's not like a real job. It doesn't really mean anything. Like, say what you will about the presidency of the United States, that position does stuff like executive orders and vetoing Congress sometimes and things like that. So, like, Zaphod has spent 2 of his 10 years as president in jail for tax fraud. And he's got this girl with him named Trillian, who is also human, and he likes her. And she goes with him when he steals the ship. So, back to Ford and Arthur. They have stowed away on a Vogon ship. Vogons, if you watch the movie, they're the real ugly-looking things that do poetry, and if you tell them that their poetry is good, then they will say that you are lying and kill you. And if you think that their poetry is bad, then they're gonna kill you. But their poetry is really fucking bad. It's the worst in the universe, so yeah. Ford saved Arthur because I guess Arthur is just like his friend, and now they can travel the universe together. Arthur is really confused. So is the audience, but it's fine. Earth's entry in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is harmless, and I think because Arthur was offended, not Zaphod, Ford changed it to mostly harmless. Yeah. So the guide says that a lungful of air will work for 30 seconds, and the chances of being picked up within that 30 seconds are 2 to the 276,709 to 1. So, in case you were wondering. They are found, though, and they're found by the Heart of Gold and Zaphod and Trillian with the infinite improbability drive, which is why they were found, because it was incredibly improbable, so fuck it. And that's just this whole book. This whole book is why did that happen? Fuck it, who cares? So Zaphod and Trillian are on the run, and the ship is kind of sentient, so they can't really control it. They have a robot named Marvin who is depressed and who was played by I know the name of the character I'm thinking of, but I cannot think of the actor's name. God damn it. Alan Rickman, who was played by the wonderful Alan Rickman in the movie. He's got the perfect voice for it because Marvin is just depressed the whole time. Yeah. Ford is kind of shocked to hear who stole the ship because he and Zaphod used to be friends. Arthur also met Zaphod at a party. Trillian was also at that party. That's how Zaphod met her. Her name is actually Trisha. She's sad that her home planet has been destroyed, but what can you do? So, Zaphod wants to use the improbability drive to find the most improbable planet in the universe. There are several plots going on right now. No, I can't tell you what lines they're all related through, because by the time we get to the end, I'm still confused. Arthur's not confused anymore, but I still am. And yeah, so supposedly in the former Galactic Empire, this planet held lots of wealth, and Zaphod wants the fame of finding the planet. So they find the planet, but it has a defense system and it tries to shoot them down. But okay. Arthur turned on the improbability drive so that they don't die, and they end up landing on the planet. So, yeah, it's really confused to try and figure out what's going on. Zaphod also says that someone cauterized all the synapses around 2 lumps of cerebellum in his 2 brains. Zaphod has 2 heads, don't worry about it. But someone called ZB did it. Pretty obvious, but anyway. Arthur finds a dude outside of the ship. He wasn't supposed to leave the ship, but who cares? And his name is Slartybart Fast. Dolphin. The dolphins on Earth knew that Earth was going to be destroyed, and they left a message, "So long and thanks for all the fish," which is actually the title of, I want to say, the 3rd book. And Slart's people made Earth. And he takes Arthur to the factory where the Earth is being remade because the mice want the Earth to be remade. The reason the mice want the Earth to be remade is because the mice made a machine that would tell them the answer to the universe. And the machine took forever to figure out what the answer was. And the answer is 42. But the mice were like, that's a number? What the fuck does that even mean? So the machine told them that they don't know what the question is. So the mice were like, okay, what's the question? And the machine told them that he is not equipped to figure out what the question is. They need a different machine for that. So they built the Earth, and it takes 7.5 billion years for philosophy to figure out what the answer is. But right as they were about to figure out the answer, the Vogons destroyed the planet. The Vogons destroyed the planet because they did not want the mice to figure out what the question is. Why? I've read book 2. I still don't know. Yeah. The machine is also called Deep Thought, by the way. The one that gave them the answer. Yeah. So, the last president told Zaphod that he has to steal the improbability drive. I don't know why. I don't know if I read it. I'm hoping that by writing down everything that happens, I'll be able to have an answer to all of my questions. Somehow I doubt it, but is it wrong for me to hope? Yeah. Hang on. Also, the mice decided to just make up a question to answer to match the answer, and I don't know what the question is that they came up with, but the intergalactic cops find Zaphod, and they were going to attack, then the attack just stops, and now we're headed to the restaurant at the end of the universe, which is the name of the next book. This book is so fucking weird. There really isn't much of Arthur in this book, or the guide. Everything is just so indescribable. Like, Arthur is the only one who's justifiably panicking, because his planet just got destroyed, and now he's in a ship that when it tried to make him tea, it spawned an elephant into existence, and then the elephant contemplated its life, realized it was falling out of the sky, had to deal with that, but then came to, like, a good conclusion of its 15-second life, and then smacked onto the ground. No, okay. I remembered very little, just as I thought I would. And, like, I think the main problem that I have with this book is that I don't know what it wants me to feel. Like, I get that it's sci-fi and that it's comedy, but I'm not, I laughed, but I'm not sure what this book wants me to feel. Like, Wrath in the Dawn was, like, romance and, like, be sad that these two people can't be together. Okay. The Root and the Tree are, like, feel bad for this kid because he can't really live his life, and what are we going to do about it? But, like, this book, I was kind of just uncomfortable the entire time. Fun fact, I actually have a book that I'm writing that's based off of this format a little bit, like, in terms of, like, the sci-fi and everything being in space being kind of just ridiculous for the sake of being ridiculous. So I wonder when I first read this book, because I've been writing that story for upwards of like 5 years now, but I'm pretty sure I've had Hitchhiker's Guide for longer. Either way. Yeah, that's the end of that.